The temperance movement gained momentum in the late 1800s, culminating in congressional opposition to alcoholic beverages by the end of World War I. The passage of laws banning the consumption and most distillation of whiskey and beer dramatically altered life in America. Initially rooted in religious beliefs, the temperance movement aimed to promote temperance, or complete abstinence from alcohol consumption, viewing it as immoral. Prohibition advocates, primarily Protestant religious leaders, highlighted alcohol's negative effects on health, work performance, and family stability. Some states even passed discriminatory laws restricting alcohol sales to specific ethnic groups. The Volstead Act, conceived by Anti-Saloon League leader Wayne Wheeler under pressure from the temperance movement, was enacted by Congress in 1919 to enforce the 18th Amendment, which prohibited the manufacture and sale of alcoholic beverages. Despite initial support, Prohibition faced challenges, with several states repealing their laws by the 1930s. However, the era of Prohibition witnessed the rise of organized crime syndicates, particularly the Mafia, which profited immensely from the illegal alcohol trade. Prohibition transformed average criminals into crime legends, as bootlegging became a lucrative business, fueling the rise of powerful crime families such as the Five Families in New York. The era also saw the emergence of speakeasies and the escalation of violence between rival gangs. Although Prohibition was eventually repealed in 1933 with the ratification of the 21st Amendment, its legacy endured, shaping the landscape of organized crime in America for decades to come. Prohibition, enforced by the Volstead Act, was a pivotal period in American history marked by the nationwide ban on alcohol consumption and production. Championed by the temperance movement, Prohibition aimed to eliminate the perceived social ills associated with alcohol, including immorality, crime, and familial instability. However, its implementation inadvertently fueled the growth of organized crime syndicates, which exploited the lucrative black market for alcohol. The Volstead Act, named after Congressman Andrew Volstead, provided the legal framework for enforcing prohibition but proved challenging to enforce effectively. Despite efforts to curb alcohol production and distribution, bootlegging flourished, and criminal organizations capitalized on the demand for illicit alcohol. Speakeasies, clandestine bars where alcohol was served, became prevalent in urban areas, catering to a population unwilling to adhere to the prohibition laws. The rise of organized crime during Prohibition transformed criminal syndicates into powerful entities with significant influence in various sectors of society. Gangsters like Al Capone became infamous for their involvement in the illegal alcohol trade and other criminal activities. The violence and corruption associated with Prohibition-era crime led to widespread public disillusionment and calls for its repeal. In 1933, the end of Prohibition signaled a shift in alcohol policy, with the ratification of the 21st Amendment repealing the 18th Amendment. While the repeal ended the nationwide ban on alcohol, it did not eradicate organized crime, which had become deeply entrenched during the Prohibition era. The legacy of Prohibition continues to shape discussions on alcohol regulation and the consequences of government intervention in social behavior.